new stars like Matt Dominguez, Jason Castro, Jose Altuve, and Chris Carter take on the Astros' biggest rivals with Matt Holliday, Alan Craig, and Yadier Molina. It's Game 2 with one of the Astros' biggest rivals, Astros-Cardinals, next. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Comcast Sportsnet brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, the Astros meet the St. Louis Cardinals. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby. The Cardinals won the opener of this brief two-game series last night with a lot of hitting, and they have continued to do that throughout the season, Ash.
Awfully good hitting ball club, Brownie, no doubt about that. Among the leaders in runs scored from the National League, the Cardinals were shut down for 3 innings by Lucas Harrell, but in that 4th inning, they came to life, and it lasted pretty much the rest of the night.
They have had a losing record when facing left-handed starters, and the Astros will select Eric Bedard for this game.
Pretty difficult to figure that one out as well when you look at the Cardinals lineup. They've got some good right-handed bats, but they have struggled against the left-handers. Eric Bedard has been a pitcher who has not enjoyed a whole lot of success in the wins column this year, but here of late he has really pitched well. Been a stalwart in this rotation for the Astros that up until last night had been certainly a strength of the ball club for the last month and a half.
His mound opponent, as you see, Eric, the last 4 starts going 2-1 with a 2.88 ERA. He's kept the opponent's batting average down 225, and he hopes to do that and fall right into the line because his mound opponent, Lance Lynn, has been very difficult to beat. He is 10-1 this year, and Lance Lynn is 29-9 in his major league career.
Pretty impressive stuff. You talk about a guy that was a late first-rounder when he was selected by the Cardinals, but boy, has he shined since coming to the big leagues. Those numbers that Brownie mentions, just spectacular for Lynn, and he just seems to keep getting better. 10-1 on the year, tied for the leadership on the team with the Cardinals in terms of wins. He's a right-hander that just simply goes out and does that. He wins ERA at 3.42. He's had a lot of run support. That whip, a very good one. And the opponent's batting average against tells you a whole lot. He has been tough to get to.
Coming up next, Brett Wallace returned to the Astros last night. And the former Cardinal first-round draft choice had success in that left center field alley with a triple. He joins Julia in just a moment.
Wrap up a 2-game series here with the Houston Astros, and on the field now with Brett Wallace, who has just returned from AAA Oklahoma City, and we wanted to catch up with you. Welcome back, first off. And what was the most challenging thing for you while you were with Oklahoma City?
I think, obviously this is a brotherhood up here, so you get used to being with the guys, and throughout spring and throughout the early part of the season, we really rally together. So when you go down, you're really looking up there and seeing some of your brothers playing and battling and playing some teams tough, and so you want to be there and you want to be fighting with them, and you just got to stay focused and go down there, get your hard work in, and make sure that you're ready when you get the next chance. So
you said you'd made some adjustments and you were hitting the ball very well down there. Now that you are back, what's the most important thing for you to do?
I think just be relaxed and be myself. The biggest thing is when you go down there and you find something that works for you, you find that comfort zone. You want to come up here and just kind of do the same thing. So just try not to do too much and just be smooth and just go up there and kind of play with some freedom, and when you do that, the good things are going to happen.
All right, that's Brett Wallace. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. Erik Bedard faces Lance Lynn as the Astros try to grab one from the Cards this Wednesday night. First pitch and lineups coming up next.
Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares only at southwest.com. And by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. It's a brief 2-game series, and the Cardinals won the opener last night 13-5. The Astros dropped their previous game at Chicago Sunday 14-6, meaning that they have surrendered 27 runs in the last 2 games, hoping Erik Bedard can throw up a roadblock. And the Cardinals began the day with a 1-game lead in the NL Central with 48 wins, 29 losses, the best winning percentage in Major League Baseball, but being pursued very tightly by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pittsburgh won today at Seattle 4-2, so things are very tight in the NL Central, even though the Cardinals have played so very well. 19 games above 500 for Mike Matheny's ball club. Matheny's club will go on to open, and then Anaheim on this 8-game road trip. And for the Cardinals and the way they hit, and they're now leading the National League in runs scored with 385, chance for them to get an extra bat in the lineup, that's not always good for the other team. So currently they have just a 1/2 game lead on the Pirates, 4 in front of Cincinnati. And now as they come up, we check Matheny's starting lineup for this game. And it begins with 2 guys who have .399 on base averages. Matt Carpenter at second and Yadier Molina with a rare start at first tonight. Carlos Beltran's the DH. It's Alan Craig in right field, Matt Holliday in left, David Freese at third base, Shane Robinson in center with good career numbers against Erik Bedard, Pete Kozma at shortstop, Tony Cruz is the catcher batting ninth.
Eric Bedard on the hill for the Astros, 34 years of age, 2-3 on the year, 4.43 the ERA. His last start, a very good one against the Milwaukee Brewers. Took a no decision in 7 1/3 innings, allowed just 4 hits and a run.
That's a bunt and a good one. And on the first pitch, that's a bunt single for Matt Carpenter of Galveston, Texas. He laid it down perfectly. And with that .318 batting average to start, he brings it up a tick with that leadoff single.
Now these Cardinals look like a club that can do it in all phases. If you give it to them on the bunt, you get that chance to start a ball game, maybe start an inning later. I just think you have to take as much away from these guys as possible.
Yadier Molina in the number 2 spot again tonight, as he was last night. He had 2 hits and 4 at-bats in last night's game. He cranks one to left field, and it's 2-0 St. Louis. Molina, the league's leading hitter at .355 before that swing. It's home run number 6. That gives him 44 runs batted in, and Lance Lynn gets a very early 2-0 lead.
I guess that's the small and the large of it right there in a couple of pitches. These Cardinals had not hit well against left-hand pitching this year, but they look like a club out to show that they are turning that around.
They drilled 3 long balls last night, and now they get a 4th, and Carlos Beltran takes a look at strike 1. The designated hitter tonight at .307. Beltran with 18 homers has 48 runs batted in. Molina has electrified this first inning for St. Louis. Bouncer up the middle at shortstop, past the diving Jake Elmore, and that's 3 consecutive hits out of the chute for the Redbirds. Last night they put together a 7-run 4th inning on their way to the 13-5 win. That was their 7th 7-run inning of the year. A very explosive team. Even though the long ball has not been a staple for them, they're 11th in the National League in homers. They just hit .276 batting average as a team. Alan Craig at .321 has 7 homers, 61 runs batted in. And they hit especially well with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, that's the mark that's been the strength of this offense for the Cardinals. And the offense is a strength for the Cardinals, but their pitching is as well. Defensively, we saw them spectacular last night. Just a well-rounded club.
4-time Gold Glove catcher Mike Matheny. Pass the torch along to Yadier Molina. There's a ball, and Alan Craig has a 1-ball 1-strike count. That was a strike, rather. Craig has 93 hits. That's 5th in the National League. It's not that it's a speedy Whitey Herzog type small ball Cardinal club. They hardly ever attempt a stolen base. Ground ball, and here's Elmore getting it on to second. Altuve on to first for a 6-4-3 double play. And the Astros take over the American League lead with their 87th double play.
No, in fact, to the contrary, Brownie, the Cardinals had by far the least stolen base attempts in the National League going into last night's game.
Matt Holliday was the DH last night. He had a single in 4 trips, also drew a walk. Holliday comes up, having been in a downturn the last few weeks. Holliday takes that one, and it's ball 1.
Not much on that throw by Altuve, turning the double play. I don't know if he just felt like he had it in the bag and just wanted to lob it onto first base, or if it was a poor grip of the baseball.
Swing by Holliday takes the count to 1-1. Holliday's a .400 lifetime hitter against Eric Bedard. Bedard 1-3 lifetime against the Redbirds with a 5.91 ERA and 4 starts. He's allowed just 2 runs or less in 7 of his last 8 starts, and already has allowed a 2 spot to the first 2 batters in this game. 2 balls, 1 strike now. Cardinals are 4-4 in interleague play. They're 3-0 in American League parks. Pop up. Brett Wallace at first base. ending the top of the first with 2 runs scoring on 3 hits. Molina cranks one to give him 44 runs batted in and a 2-0 Redbird lead. Molina first inning homer. Now the Astros come up. Bo Porter's lineup card begins with shortstop Jake Elmore, who just rejoined the Astros last night. He's followed by Jose Altuve on a 6-game hitting streak, playing second base. Jason Castro bats third, does the catching, followed by left fielder Chris Carter, DH Carlos Pena, right fielder J.D. Martinez, first baseman Brett Wallace, third baseman Matt Dominguez, center fielder Brandon Barnes.
On the mound for the Cardinals, right-hander, 26 years of age, Lance Lynn, 10-1, the impressive mark on the year, 3.42 the ERA against the Astros. Look at those numbers, 4-0 in 5 starts, 1.42 ERA. It looks to be an uphill battle against this righty.
Lance Lynn is coming off a 6-1 win against the Chicago Cubs. Jake Elmore gets it started. Just recall from Oklahoma City before the game last night. There's strike one to Jake. 364 is his average, 4 hits and 11 at bats. He filled in the series in Pittsburgh when Jose Altuve was injured and was away from the ball club with a death in the family after that collision. And Elmore showed a good bat in that series. No balls, 2 strikes. Elmore was performing well, playing primarily second base for Oklahoma City. So this is his second stint with the Astros and his third in the majors. He had played 30 games with the Arizona Diamondbacks at the end of last year. He was hitting .300 for the Oklahoma City Redhawks. That's strike 3. And Lance Lynn opens with a punch out.
Nothing tricky right there. Just came with the 2-strike fastball, spots it well down and away. That defense for the Cardinals tonight. Tony Cruz gets the nod behind the plate. Around the infield, Yadier Molina. Apparently he can really hit as a first baseman. Matt Carpenter, Pete Kozma, and David Freese. In the outfield, Shane Robinson in center, flanked by Alan Craig in right, and Matt Holliday back in left.
Good defensive team. Cardinals have committed just 30 errors. Jose Altuve looks at the elevated fastball. Ball 1. 295 for Jose. 3 homers. 27 runs batted in, a 328 on base average for Altuve during his 6-game hitting streak. He's gone 9 for 24. That's a strike for Lynn, and the count runs to 1-1. Jose was 1 for 4 in last night's game. Ash mentioned the outstanding career record for Lynn against the Astros, 4-0 with a 1.42. Beat them 3 times last year. Foul back. He was 3-0 with a 140 against Houston last season. For the Redbirds, who have the second lowest ERA in the National League, 3.23. It's been a relentless starting rotation. It adds up to 42 wins, 19 losses, and a 3.03 earned run average. Jake Westbrook got them off to an outstanding start last night with 5 no-hit innings. And he left after 6 innings, giving up 4 runs.
Starting pitching for the Cardinals again, one of their strengths. That group is 42-19 on their own. The ERA among the leaders. On its batting average against, kind of on and on. 30 home runs allowed. And they do play in a probably pitcher-friendly ballpark in St. Louis. But a park that some people will tell you is pretty neutral.
Full count now to Altuve. And that is strike 3 call. A tall strike 3 call for the big umpire, Tim McClellan.
Swing the bats, boys. I think that's what you say. And I think sometimes when you're just trying to come out of a tough time, swing the bats, let them fly.
2 outs, and it's Jason Castro batting now, the number 3 hitter for the Astros. Castro with a .272 average, has 10 homers. He's driven in 26 runs. Castro 0 for 3 in last night's game, but he had a sacrifice fly to give him that 26th RBI of the year. Fouls it away. There's strike 1. His wife Maris is going to be joining us a little bit later to talk about their favorite charity. That's a book drive. They're involved with the literacy program, Castro's Kids. It's going to be a book drive here at the ballpark. In fact, you can drop off your books for grades K through 12 if you so choose during the day at Union Station, even if you're not coming to a game. But also there's that option of coming to a ball game, which everybody likes. And Saturday and Sunday is the big book drive. Castros will be donating some books, as well as folks from the community. There'll be a raffle for some autographed Astros items, as well for those who do drop off books, new or gently used. And they go to the Houston Independent School District. So 1 ball, 2 strike count. Among American League catchers, Castro's second in doubles with 22 and tied for second in homers with 10.
I guess it kind of figures a couple that went to Stanford for their education might be involved in advancing literacy.
Yeah, it's a great effort on their part. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Left-handed hitters have been held to a .237 average by Lance Lynn. Right-handers only .208. Lynn was a 17-game winner last year for the Redbirds. So for his career, he's 29-9. .763 winning percentage, tops among active pitchers. Castro skips rope on that low pitch. It's a full count on him. Scouting report on Lynn is that when he gets to 2 strikes, he doesn't often waste a pitch. Of course, he wouldn't be here. But if it's 0-2, as you saw with Elmore, he's going to come usually right after the hitter and try to finish him off on that next pitch. That's ball 4. Castro works his 23rd walk. Support for Chris Carter.
That up and away fastball, pretty much. I mean, if you turn it around mirror vision, the way Altuve struck out, up and away on a heater.
Carter was 0 for 3 with a walk last night. Yeah, he does have the 2-seam fastball, the 4-seamer that he can elevate, try to get the hitter to chase that one upstairs.
Lynn walks about 3 1/3 per 9 innings.
Strike 1 to Carter.
But in watching his stuff, a guy who's 10-1, I think the tendency is to come in and say, what is it? What's really special about what he does? Well, he'll walk a few. His fastball's been about 91 to 93. A little bit of sinking action. Haven't seen a whole lot in terms of one great breaking ball, so he just comes right at you. And again,
0-2 to Carter.
time and time again.
Lynn was born in Marion County, Indiana. He went to the University of Mississippi. He was the all-time strikeout leader there. A sandwich pick in the 08 draft after the first round by the Cardinals. He has only allowed 5 homers in 92 innings. And the slider gets him a strikeout. He strikes out 3 in the first, with the Cardinals leading it 2-0 after 1.
to Minute Maid Park for happy hour at the St. Arnold's Bar from 4:30 to 6 p.m. this Friday. The happy hour will have $5 beer specials on St. Arnold's beer, Ziegenbach, and Bud Light. Union Station gates open early, so come join us for a cold one, guys.
Good time out there. Great view. Astros and Angels Friday, 4:30 to 6 for that happy hour. And then the ball game at 7:10. And Bud Norris has pitched very well all 3 times against the Angels. David Freese, the batter. Cardinals lead 2-0. First pitch to him from Eric Bedard goes as strike 1. 282 for Freese, 5 homers, 26 runs batted in. Freese hit one of the 3 Cardinal long balls last night, going 1 for 4 with a walk. He fouls it back, and it's a no-ball, 2-strike count to David Freese. Freese is on a 3-game hitting streak right now. Cardinals are averaging 5 runs per game. Curveball missing, and that takes the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Eric Bedard last pitched a week ago today, so working with extra rest. And he pitched very well, but lost 3-1 to Milwaukee, giving up just 1 run in 7 1/3 innings. Or he got a no decision rather. The Astros lost the game. That's strikeout number 1. He had a 1-0 lead. A runner on base left the game. That runner scored, and then the Astros went on to lose it late, 3-1.
Get some success here with that curveball as he dives it under the knees.
Eric's been throwing the ball very well. Shane Robinson is up next. 218 for Shane. 2 homers. He's driven in 8. He's 5 for 10 lifetime against Bedard. And fouls that for strike 1 on Robinson. John Jay resting today. Robinson puts it in the air, and it goes to shallow right field. Altuve makes his way back and calls for it. That's 2 outs for Eric Bedard. And Pete Kozma will follow. Kozma showed us some good fielding abilities at shortstop last night.
What he did was show off a great arm, I thought. He also made a terrific play with the glove, but he popped up on that one over the top, humped it across the infield. Very good throwing arm at short.
J.D. Martinez in the 6th inning. That's strike 1, and Kozma with a .252 average has 1 homer with 27 runs batted in. Off the plate, it's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Kozma leads all major league rookies in games played with 75. First round pick in 07. Rafael Furcal is missing the season with an injury. Kozma has moved in. He got 72 at bats in the big leagues last year and 17 the year before. This is his first real shot at being an everyday player. Tony Cruz is on deck. In the air and out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's a good group here of Mizzou Tiger alums tonight, about 55 of them taking in this ball game.
I'll bet you'd like to meet that group or some portion thereof.
I've met a portion of them. You've seen a portion of them.
Good looking group.
Absolutely. In the dirt, 3-2. We were talking with some of the Cardinal traveling party, and they were kind of wistful, I thought, Ash. They said,
wistful.
We don't know when we're going to see you guys again. Of course, the Astros will see the Cardinals in a few days in St. Louis, but other than that, with the normal rotation of interleague play, it would take another 5 years if they go by that rotation before these 2 teams meet after this year.
How do you feel about that?
Kind of wistful.
Nice.
Well, we've enjoyed a lot of quality baseball between these 2 teams down through the years. real battles. That's a 2-out walk for Eric Bedard. And just really good, meaty baseball. You know, managerial decisions, and double play pitch by somebody to get out of trouble.
Well, now you're talking National League ball, aren't you?
Roaring crowds, and just really good competition. The final day of that 0-1 season in St. Louis.
Some of the postseason play between these clubs.
Yeah. Memorable games. Tony Cruz at 167 has no homers. He's driven in 4. Gets a rare opportunity to start. Usually it's Molina, and Molina's caught a very high percentage of the Cardinal games, higher than any other team. That's a strike. Molina has started 71 of 77 games at catcher. That's 92.2%. And no other major league player has started 90% of his team games at catcher this season. Cruz puts it in the air and out of play.
Saw a great stat on Molina, and what it was about was attempts of stolen bases against the Cardinals, and that figure is 200 plus below the next best team in terms of just having teams not try to run against them over the career of Molina. He has been that much of an impactor. Now I imagine their fine pitching has also helped in that regard.
Sure. They've allowed 19 steals, and they've caught 13 of their opponents' attempts so far this year. That's tough sledding for the running game against the St. Louis Cardinals. This is only the 8th start for Tony Cruz all season. You might have had to shuffle around for a scouting report on him. They might have to give him that old nickname they gave the third base coach, Jose Oquendo, the secret weapon.
Is that what Jose was?
Yeah.
Now, was he a secret weapon when he was playing? Because pretty good ball player.
He would hope not. That's a ball, and it's 1-2.
93 on the fastball from Bedard, a pitch that he thought was right there. And some hollering coming out of the Astros dugout.
Yeah. Good job by the catcher. Brocale wants that pitch. You know that.
Anybody who's ever towed the rubber wants that one.
Foul ball on the ground. Keeps the count at 1-2 on Cruz. Bedard has really put together solid work. I mentioned that last game he pitched here against Milwaukee 2 starts ago. He beat the White Sox here 2-1. 6 innings of no earned runs. 2-1 win on the road over the Angels back on June 3rd.
Yeah, we talked about that most recent start against the Brewers. Working into the 8th inning, it was just spectacular work. Had not allowed a run until the bullpen gave up a run on a base runner he left.
That was his longest outing in terms of innings. Way outside. 2-2. And also, he threw 98 pitches in that last start. He threw 104 the start before here against the White Sox. That's his top figure. He really had to be built up because he had an injury, and spring training hardly pitched at all. So he started the season in the bullpen.
Yeah, the way the spring went for Bedard, I wasn't convinced we were going to see him at all.
It's worked out well. In the air and again out of play. Cruz putting up a battle here at 2-2 in the count. 30 pitches by Bedard so far.
Got one of the most nonplussed attitudes, facial expressions you'll run into. He is just a blank book on the hill.
Yeah. You like that?
I do. He shows nothing either way.
Do you think that should be our objective for the post-game show?
I think we could probably find something else.
Now 3 balls, 2 strikes, and the runner will take off. Cosma.
Unless, of course, Eric finds a way to, after allowing those 2 runs after 2 hitters tonight, just shut it down and the Astros bats come alive. Yeah, you won't see a different look if he's winning 6-0 or trailing by that number.
wearing the mask. Runner going, and it's a swing and a foul tip strikeout. Well, he didn't foul tip, but he missed it. According to the umpire, Tim McClellan, strikeout number 2, and it's 2-0 Redbirds.
To watch Chevy Hometown Kids every Saturday morning at 9:30 on CSN. Chevy Hometown Kids, where it's not about the score, but the experience. Now we go up to Brownie and Ash with a special guest.
Maris Castro, kind enough to join us, and Castro's Kids is what we want to talk about. You're a Stanford gal.
I am.
And we've been talking about this before you arrived, so your ears might have been burning, but the fact that you and Jason, both coming from Stanford, literacy is a big cause for you. And it's great that you put together this book drive for the HISD.
Yeah, we're very excited.
I think it's going to go well, too, because the word is getting out there. Carlos Pena, the batter. And there's strike one. So whose idea was it?
Oh, it was both of ours.
Okay.
Oh, please. It's always the wife's idea. Come on, just go ahead and throw it out there.
Yeah.
No, we were brainstorming about how we could get involved in our community, and we call Houston home now, and we're very excited to get back.
Good. That's really a great effort on your part, and hopefully you get many, many books. And Pena fouls that one. It's 0-2, so you kind of feel like you're getting entrenched in the community, right?
Definitely. We call Houston home now. We've made our off-season house and home here, so.
That's fantastic. It's a great place to live. You'll miss California, of course, but you can go back to visit.
We go back to visit all the time.
You say you're from the New England area.
I am. I'm from Rhode Island, and Jason's from California.
No balls, 2 strikes to Pena. So tell us the details now. Folks can bring books by Union Station. When is it? Friday is the
actually, tomorrow and Friday during business hours, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And if you come, you can still be entered into the raffle that we will be holding.
That's great. You might get some autographed memorabilia.
Yep, there's autographed memorabilia, some great tickets. With the tickets, you'd be able to go down and watch BP from the field. So some great prizes in the raffle.
Terrific.
What about for those of us who have already given away all the books that we have to give away? Is there another way to contribute?
Definitely. You can also buy new books. We're asking for both new and gently used books.
So cash still lives?
Fly ball out to Robinson in center. Cash is always king. You'll accept cash, won't you, Maris?
Yes, if you want to make donations, you can make it through the Astros Foundation, and they will earmark it for us to purchase books.
So we can do that the next couple of days. Tomorrow not being one of the days, but Friday, Saturday, I guess, huh? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you can bring books in tomorrow at Union Station.
Okay.
Right.
Or Friday during the day until 4:30, right?
Yes.
And you don't have to have a ticket and come to the game to do that. But then the actual book drive is Saturday and Sunday, right?
Right. Saturday and Sunday from the time that the gates open until first pitch, we'll be collecting books at most of the main gates, as well as the community.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're on your own here. I can't help you.
That little,
I'm not
I've
sure
seen
what
it.
it's
I know what
called.
you're talking about. It's right inside when you come through the gates from Union Station into the ballpark. That little community, I can't think of the name of it either, Maris, but it's right there inside the Union Station entrance to the ballpark. And so there you have the raffle there that Maris talked about. And it's going to be a fun time this weekend. A lot of books will be brought in by people and will be used by those students in the HISD. J.D. Martinez puts it in the air, and the first baseman, Molina, makes a catch. That's out number 2.
So are you considering a life in TV now that you've kind of broken through?
I don't know about that one.
It's fun. Really, it is. It is.
It is. You guys have some good seats up here for sure.
Can you believe these seats?
We pay very little. We've got a nice discount on these seats, too.
I don't know. Can I stay here the whole
Did you
game?
get charged coming in?
You're allowed. But
No.
the guys on radio want you on, though, too. So you can make your way down. And Brett Wallace, the batter now.
Well, you have brightened up the picture of us here in the booth immensely here this evening.
Thank you.
You have, yes, you've brightened our evening. Now, if you could just get us a double here from Brett Wallace.
Okay.
And then maybe a homer from Matt Dominguez.
How about that Castro guy? We got to get that bat contributing tonight. Of course, he is the only base runner to this point.
Tough pitcher on the mound tonight. That's to center field. Robinson backing. And that's out number 3. It was a quick visit, but hopefully folks got enough details. And thanks, Maris, for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck with the book drive coming up. It's 2-0 Redbirds. Homer by Yadier Molina. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Fans enjoying this one. It's a brief 2-game series. A day off tomorrow. A brand new series starts for the Astros against the Angels Friday night. Matt Carpenter comes around for the second time. He bunted for a hit to lead off the game. Now he fouls this one, and it's strike 1 for Eric Bedard. Bud Norris has been really effective against the Angels. He'll be on the mound Friday night at 7:10 against Jerome Williams. Bud 5-7 overall, but 3-0 against the Angels with an ERA of 0.43 for 3 starts. Bedard delivers, and it's a ball to even the count at 1-1. Cardinals have won 8 and lost 10 against left-handed starters. Mike Matheny does not have a particular explanation for that. Bounced, and there's Wallace with the play. Tossing to Bedard. One out.
Yeah, I don't know how you do explain that away when you've got right-handed bats like Yadier Molina, Alan Craig, David Freese, Matt Holliday, Carlos Beltran, a switch hitter. Really makes no sense.
No. Here's what Molina did in the first inning.
Paul didn't stay around long. You get a couple of pitches into a ball game, you're trailing 2-0. Can be tough, but Eric Bedard trying to get this turned around.
Molina really rocked that pitch. Now he goes for this first pitch and fouls it away. There's strike one on Molina. All but 8 players on the Cardinals' current roster, active or disabled list, made their major league debut with the team. That's by far the fewest number of those players in the major leagues who have come from other teams. So it's a homegrown type operation. Molina included. He was a 4th-round pick in 2000. Those who came from elsewhere, guys like Carlos Beltran, Matt Holliday, Jake Westbrook, who pitched last night, Edward Mujica, their closer, but the core of their team has been homegrown.
Makes you wonder how a guy with the catching tools, the arm, everything that Yadier Molina and the name Molina, the catching name, can last to the 4th round.
Yeah, it really does. Molina attacks that pitch. Altuve sliding. He caught it on a line. Molina crunched it, but Altuve got over there for out number 2.
Well, that didn't turn out to be routine, that's for certain. This ball just gets scalded, and I think that maybe even surprised Altuve in the end how sharply it was hit.
Carlos Beltran, he's single to center field. He's been getting a mixed reaction from Astros fans during this series. There's ball 1. They were cheering their lungs out for him when he played against the Cardinals in the postseason in 04. What a terrific postseason he had. And this one goes up the left field line, and it's hooking, and a foul ball for Carlos this time. That makes it 1-1 to Beltran.
Individually, one of the great postseasons I think you'll see.
Yeah. That one goes down in history.
It's a breaking ball. It's hard to keep that pitch fair. You can get the barrel to it and hammer it sometimes, as Beltran did here, but you hook it foul.
He hit 8 homers in that postseason. Fouls that one 1-2. He hit 4 against the Braves, driving in 9, hitting .455, and 4 more against the Cardinals with a .417 average against them in the NLCS in 04.
Yeah, that's the case of a guy that just kind of takes a team on his back and says, "Get on, boys, we're going for a nice ride here."
Fly ball out to center field. Brandon Barnes for out number 3. In the middle of the 3rd, it's the Cardinals 2, the Astros nothing.
AT&T tweet of the game is from Astros GM Jeff Luhnow, who's busy up there, probably working. He wrote, Preston Tucker, 991 OPS in June for Lancaster. Move him up. Pretty cool stuff considering he came up not long after, right, Brownie?
Yeah, he did. So he's moving up to Corpus with 75 games under his belt. At Lancaster, a 326 average, 15 homers, 74 runs batted in to lead the California League, an on-base percentage of .384. Now a member of the Corpus Christi Hooks, and in essence replacing George Springer, who just left there.
Yeah, just about to say, I think if I'm not mistaken, there may be an outfield spot that has been vacated just for Mr. Tucker.
Spot. Now it's 2-0. Lance Lynn with the lead, facing Matt Dominguez. Dominguez goes to right field and backs up Alan Craig to the warning track. One pitch, one out for Lynn, who's in attack mode tonight. He has not needed very many pitches.
Yeah, this is again not a 95+ mile an hour fastball we're looking at from Lynn, and yet the reaction of the hitters kind of leaves me thinking that maybe it's one of those sneaky fastballs.
The batting average against his fastball this year is .221.
That's a great number. Usually fastballs get hit around pretty well.
Brandon Barnes, .258, 3 homers, 16 runs batted in. Knows he's been in a bit of a downturn. He said, well, I've had about 4 tough games in a row. And he was talking about that very thing, a bunt, showing bunt there, strike one. But he said the third basemen are playing me in tight, so it's been tough to think about that. He's currently 0 for his last 16. He doesn't change a lot about his routine, he said, when he's not doing well. Fly ball to right field. Coming in for it, Craig. Craig sliding, and Alan Craig got there. And the second baseman, Carpenter, had to peel off to avoid a collision on out number 2.
Yeah, we've got a brief 2-game series, so you don't get a great peek at what teams do. But we know statistically the Cardinals can hit and pitch. I have a feeling what they do is also play a very steady, sound defense. They've made some fine plays.
Well, you saw it there. Craig was calling. Carpenter got out of his way. Craig made a good catch. There's Molina at first. Cardinals have a .990 fielding percentage. That's the best in the National League. Now here's Elmore. And it's not only fielding percentage that we're looking for when we talk about a team's defensive capabilities. It's range. Elmore struck out looking. Strike, 0-2.
Now, the one thing you can say about the Cardinals that they're not is that real aggressive, successful team on the bases. They just don't run a lot.
Ground ball to shortstop. And the quick throw from Cosmo makes it a 1-2-3 third. That's 3 no-hit innings for Lance Lynn. And it is 2-0, including a jam in right by Craig. Sportsnet is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Now's your chance to go big at Jack in the Box. Try Jack's Big Stack Burger. 2 jumbo beef stack patties stacked with onion rings, cheese, and pickles. And by White House Down, in theaters this Friday, June 28th. Well, the Astros are looking for their first hit. And now the Cardinals come up as Eric Bedard is in a similar situation to that of Lucas Harrell just 24 hours ago. It was 0-0 after 3. Now it's 2-0 though Cardinals. But the idea being that his mound opponent has a no-hitter through the first 3. And there's ball 1 to Alan Craig. Ball 1 strike to Craig. Craig bounced into a 6-4-3 double play.
2 nights in a row where the Astros hitters having a tough time figuring out the starter for the Cards.
Cardinals had been swept by the Texas Rangers at home in the previous 3-game series. It's a 2-ball 1 strike count to Craig. The Astros have a record of 11-12 in June. And they've played 500 balls since mid-May, 19-19. High drive left field. Alan Craig makes it 3-0 St. Louis. That's number 8 for Craig. 62 runs batted in. He ranks second in the National League. And Craig had a 4-hit night last night, driving in 3, including a homer. That's an 8-game hitting streak for Alan Craig.
One thing pitchers want to stay away from when they fall behind in the count, bringing a fastball up. You could see above the belt, got a lot of plate, and that ball just got demolished by Alan Craig.
Craig adds on a second Cardinal long ball, and Matt Holliday will follow. Holliday popped to first. He shoots one the other way, and the right fielder comes over toward the line, J.D. Martinez. That's out number 1. By the way, Justin Maxwell, who's been playing right field for the Astros most of the time since he returned from the disabled list and from a rehab assignment, was to have undergone some testing tonight at 6 o'clock. We have not received any results from that testing for a possible concussion. There's a standardized test in Major League Baseball given on the computer, and that's the test he was going to undergo tonight. He said he felt better today when he got up than he did last night. David Freese with ball 1. There's still a headache involved, and he's had 2 previous concussions, we understand. There is a 7-day concussion disabled list in the major leagues. That's a possibility for him. And if that is the case, then the Astros are allowed to add another player to the roster to replace him during those 7 days. Today could be day 1 of it, but they did not get an extra player here for this game. And obviously he's not going to be used in this game tonight.
Last night when he made this diving effort in right center field, you could see it right away. The upper body just dove into the ground, and it was the head that took the brunt of the force. And you could tell he just never quite felt right after that.
Well, he was making fun of his landing last night on that attempted catch.
Well, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Very good spirits as he arrived today. Shane Robinson's on deck in a 3-0 game. Bedard throws, and that's a strikeout, looking for Freese.
Come to Minute Maid Park this Friday. That's June 28th. For a big and bright Friday night, the Astros take on the LA Angels of Anaheim. 7:10 start. Stay after the game for a spectacular fireworks show featuring the musical hits of Michael Jackson, presented by Marathon Oil. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com to get your tickets today.
Shane Robinson takes, and there's ball 1 to Shane. He hit a pop-up to second in the second inning. It'll be Bud Norris and Jerome Williams Friday night at 7:10. Saturday, a 3:10 start for Jordan Lyles and Joe Blanton. Sunday, it's Lucas Harrell and C.J. Wilson at 1:10. Dallas Keuchel, who pitched in relief last night, will follow them in the rotation. He'll pitch the July 1st game, the Monday night game against Tampa Bay. It's 1-1. Two balls, one strike, and Saturday, Mr. Ashby, you and I will be down on the concourse signing some books. Houston Astros deep in the heart, along with Art Howe, Bob Aspromonte, Jose Cruz, Jimmy Wynn, J.R. Richard, from 2 to 3 Saturday before that 3:10 start.
Yeah, that book's so nice. I'm glad to see everybody able to come on out and participate in trying to help sell that book. It's just a wonderful book that you guys have thrown together, Brownie.
Thank you. Glad you like it. We hope others do too. That is a strike. That makes it 3-2. It's always fun too to see guys we haven't seen in a few months, like Bob Aspromonte. You haven't seen a lot of Art Howe this year. I've seen him in the studio. J.O. was out tonight. J.R. was out last night. Jimmy Wynn's been around. Line drive, left field corner. Shane Robinson heads for second base. And the throw comes in to the cutoff man. It's a double for Robinson. His first of the season. He continues his success against Bedard.
For Chris Carter in left field, not the cleanest play as he tries to backhand this line shot. And already, by the way, Robinson was heading towards second base, but the ball simply bobbled at that point, and that provided the double without any play.
That's hit number 5 for the Redbirds. 3 of them extra base hits. Now Cosmo, who drew a 2-out walk in the second inning after the visit from Castro to Bedard. Carlos Corcoran was talking about Jason Castro and his preparation for games, how much Carlos has learned from Jason, and the wealth of information that Jason can find for those meetings they have with the starting pitcher before each game. That's a strike. I asked Carlos, does the starting pitcher ever provide any feedback? For instance, well, such and such a hitter is vulnerable to chasing curveballs at 0-2 in the count. He said, yeah, sometimes a guy will say, well, I don't feel that good about my curveball. What else can we do? And he'll suggest an alternative.
I found that it was very important to have the pitcher's input, because different pitchers have a different feel for how they've had success against a given hitter. I thought that was key.
Did you ever find that with what a pitcher's confidence level was, you really couldn't go with the game plan you wanted to go with?
A lot of times. Now, I had the pleasure of catching a pitching staff that was pretty good. When we're talking about here in Houston, you start having J.R. Richard, Nolan Ryan, Joe Niekro, excuse me, and Mike Scotts and the likes of the guys that were on this staff for years. You go with their strength. You don't start saying, well, look, this is what this hitter likes to hit. For me, you stay with a guy that's been very successful in his strengths.
Loop to shallow right field. Altuve back for the catch to win the top of the 4th. To Craig Homer, his 8th of the year, lifts the Cardinals to a 3-0 lead in the 4th. Our trivia tonight is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places. Let's go with the trivia. Who is the Cardinal who has 3,000 hits but has a lifetime batting average under 300?
Well, I'm going to go. I know where I'm going to go.
Let's see.
I don't know that I'm right, but I know what I'm going to say.
Lifetime average under 300, but 3,000 hits.
You don't have that one wrapped up?
No, that's an interesting
that makes me feel like I might be wrong on this.
No, you're probably right. Just stick with whatever you're going with, and we'll let people look it up on the internet.
It's a way to build my confidence there.
Cast their balance. Yeah. Jose Altuve is up for the second time. He was caught looking in the first. Well, there's a story out tonight. The A-Rod saga will not die. That's ball one up and in from Lance Lynn. According to this story tonight, Alex Rodriguez believes the Yankees do not want him to play this year.
You think?
And perhaps ever. He thinks they are deliberately slowing his return to the active roster in the hope they can have him declared medically unfit to play this season, enabling them to recoup 80% of his $28 million salary through insurance.
If they're not considering that, I don't think they're doing good business.
Or in lieu of not signing him to the deal to begin with, they might have done some good business.
Did anybody watch the postseason last year?
Yeah.
That was not good.
And that memory still haunts guys in the Yankee front office. We understand Brian Cashman apologized today.
And well, he should. Yeah, I didn't think that was very professional at all, his response yesterday.
I think a lot of people got a kick out of it, but I have to agree with you. 2-2. Line into left center field. Altuve will take the turn. Robinson gets to it, plays it cleanly on an Altuve single, giving him a 7-game hitting streak, and that's hit number 1 for the Astros.
Just reaching out, putting it on the end of the bat, and hitting a nice little line drive into left center field. Altuve at times has a magic wand that he employs. It's awfully good work.
He's aboard for Castro now.
And we don't have to talk no-hitter any further tonight.
That's a relief.
Well, maybe it was a good storyline for a while last night.
Line shot left field. Played on one hop by Holiday. Altuve can't get to third. The ball hit sharply. Castro follows Altuve's hit with a single of his own, and it's first and second, nobody out for Chris Carter.
Apparently Maris Castro had a little conversation with Jason.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy can sting it the other way. He can get pitches that a lot of guys will trying to yank to right field as left-hand hitters, and Jason just stays on it and lines it the other way.
Now 2 men on for Carter, who struck out in the first inning.
Yeah, I think the numbers are headed northward over the career of Jason Castro.
Yeah. That's ball 1. Rangers 4, Yankees 2, bottom of the 6th at Yankee Stadium. While Overbay hit his 9th for New York. And they may need him without Mark Teixeira. Surgery has been recommended for Mark Teixeira on that wrist. 2 balls, no strikes. Now Carter will try to zone in on a pitch he wants to hit. Try to make it be in a certain area. Stepping back is Lynn, who's 10-1. Max Scherzer, the major league leader in wins, with 11. That wasn't the pitch he was looking for, and the count goes to 3-0 on Carter.
I think a couple of the keys for those Yankees you talk about with Lyle Overbay and what he has done, keys for that club being in contention as they are. would be Lyle Overbay and Vernon Wells,
Yes.
although Wells has really hit the skids of late.
Sure has. That is a walk, and the bases are loaded. Lynn was not going to give in to him on 3-0, so now he'll face Pena with 3 men on, nobody out. Trivia answer: 3,000 hit Cardinal. Batting average under 300.
Shame on you for not knowing this.
Lou Brock.
Yes.
293.
I think you're playing coy there, Bronny.
No, I really didn't. I didn't have that. You had it, right?
3,023 career hits, I believe is the number.
Okay.
As I recall, not a bad base stealer either.
Here's a trivia question for you.
Okay.
All right, the first ever game for the Houston Colt 45s was played at Colt Stadium, 1962, against the Chicago Cubs. Who was the first man to bat in the first ever game for the Colt 45s?
Julio Gotay.
Well, he was getting his cheese sandwich ready for later on in his career, but it was not Julio Gotay.
I felt with Sonny Jackson.
Nope. Carlos Pena. Looks at ball one. He hit a fly ball to center field in the second. All right, your time is up. The answer to that question is Lou Brock.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. It was a Cub.
My goodness, first hitter of the game.
It was a Cub.
Yeah, I'm running on the wrong side of the tracks there, aren't I?
Well, you got me on one, so I thought I had to even the score. Lou Brock only hit 293. That's a disappointment.
He could have bunted 293.
He probably could have. A golden opportunity here for the Astros, trailing 3-0. To get some runs across, and they would love to make this a crooked number inning.
You know, you might be surprised to know what the lifetime on-base percentage for Hall of Famer Lou Brock was. Just 343.
Okay. Yeah.
Not a bad number, not a great number.
It is not great for a leadoff man. Now 2-0, and it gets interesting because there have been 6 straight balls thrown here by Lance Lynn. He has not been dogged by control issues. He's walked 35 now in 95 innings. His curveball has been his most improved pitch recently. Upstairs, now 3-0. JD Martinez next.
Seize the moment time for the Astros.
Altuve, Castro, and Carter, the base runners. And ball 4 forces in a run, 3-1, and Lynn throws his hands up. He wants another baseball. He has back-to-back walks after back-to-back singles. J.D. Martinez will be next.
That said a lot about the confidence that Lynn has in his breaking ball. He turns to it on the 3-2, and clearly what he was doing was staying away from the big grand slam scenario.
This might seem weird to you, but Roger Clemens was going through my mind on that sequence.
Yeah. How so?
That he wouldn't mind a bases loaded walk rather than an extra base hit if it came to that choice. Martinez fouls it back, strike 1.
See, here's the deal that I think a lot of people miss, a lot of people in baseball, is that if you give that pretty good hitter, that major league hitter, a fastball that he's looking for, and that guy has some power, he's likely to do some big damage. And I always felt the same way. I always wanted to stay away from the big swing.
Martinez grounds it slowly. There's Freeze to second, and the relay is high and late, and a run scores. Castro coming across. It's 3-2. The ball was not hit hard, and Martinez was able to beat that relay. Freeze didn't seem to get a lot on his throw to Carpenter, and then Carpenter's relay was high. Martinez gets his 30th RBI.
Staying out of the double play crucial right here. And I don't know if the Cards with a good throw here get it. I don't think so, no. But JD Martinez busting it down the line. Just get right back in this game.
And now 3-2 with Brett Wallace, the batter. Runners at first and third and one out. Wallace hit a fly ball to center. Backdoor slider missing. Ball one. Wallace said that he has made some adjustments in the positioning of his hands since he was with the Astros earlier this year. Brett, 26 years old. The Cardinals drafted him with the 13th overall pick in the first round in 08. He's from Marin, California. And Arizona State. Now it's 2-0 to Wallace.
Okay, even the out made today by Brett Wallace. He drives the ball out toward left center a bit, hit the ball well. A couple of times doing the same thing last night. It's a very different Brett Wallace to this point than we saw early on.
Last year he hit .253 for the Astros, had 9 homers and 229 at bats, drove in 24. Up the middle and into center field, a big hit for Wallace, ties the game. Carter comes home. Wallace gets his third RBI and is 3-3 in the fourth.
He's swinging the bat so much better, and I think that Brett Wallace can be a very good major league hitter. I don't think that you can tell him we want you to pull home runs, because when he takes his normal swing, he goes back up the middle, and I think that can be a great strength. This is a shot of what Brett was doing in the minor leagues. Nope, maybe not.
He had good numbers there.
But he does the same thing. He goes back up the middle, left center field. Big part of his game.
And Dominguez looks at a pitch for ball one. Dominguez hit a first pitch in the air to the right fielder in the third inning. 43 runs batted in gives him the club lead, despite batting 8th a lot of the time. It's 2-0. Well, you checked a while back, and there was no number 8 hitter that was close to Dominguez in terms of runs batted in any other club this year.
He's second on the club in home runs with his 11. And normally you would say, well, you know, this is a club with an 8 hitter that has 11 dingers and over 40 RBIs.
Rolled at third. Freese steps on the base for the force out there, forcing Martinez. 2 outs, and it's Brandon Barnes looking for a go-ahead hit.
But the fact of the matter is, for the Astros, it's been by choice that he's been in that 7 and 8 spot throughout much of the year. It hasn't been because the lineup has been loaded with guys through the heart, and then you wind up with that guy who also produces in the 8 spot.
Barnes is the 8th man to bat here, and the Astros 4th. Brandon's hitting .400 with runners in scoring position. 10 for 25. Up the middle into center field. Here's Wallace around third. Coming in, and the throw goes to third base, and it gets away. The Astros have the lead, 4-3, and Barnes winds up at second. After his RBI single, his 17th run batted in, and Barnes coming out of the slump.
That was setting up to be really intriguing at third base. If this out is recorded before the touching of home plate, you don't get that big run. And as that throw was coming in, I couldn't tell which was going to take place first. Not sure why this ball gets by at third base.
Freese was unable to corral that throw from Robinson in center. Barnes winds up taking second on the throw, getting credited with an RBI single, and it's Elmore batting, showing bunt, and that's strike one.
It wasn't a case of Brett Wallace not digging from second base, just a case of Brett Wallace not being all that fleet of foot. Now he takes off from second, he's digging coming to the plate, but this play at third had a chance of preceding that run. It was certainly going to be close.
It might have been for David Freese the fact that that throw from Carpenter seemed to be coming out of the base runner's uniform. Dominguez
very well may have been.
The white uniform. It's 2-0 now. Elmore said that in the Pacific Coast League recently he had been getting a lot of hits to right field, but then the pitchers were adjusting on him in the Oklahoma City games, and they had been pounding him inside in recent games. Takes that pitch for a strike on the outer edge, and that makes it 2-1 for Lance Lynn. That's Joe Kelly in the bullpen. Altuve's on deck. Grounded to short, or the third baseman cuts across, Freeze, and throws him in. And the Astros bat around in the fourth inning. They take the lead with a 4-run frame, coming up with 4 hits and leading to 4-3 Houston after 4.
To the 5th, MLB.TV celebrates 11 years with new low yearly prices. Watch every out-of-market game live on over 350 supported mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere, guys.
Thanks, Julia. 4-3 ball game. The Astros come up with a big 4 spot in the 4th inning to hand Eric Bedard the lead. Tony Cruz leads it off here in the 5th. Bedard delivers, and there's strike 1 after he spent a while away from the mound, with the Astros sending 9 men to the plate in that 4th.
It was a productive time.
Bedard misses there, and the count is 1-1. 25 years ago today, 22-year-old Craig Biggio made his major league debut. Starting at catcher in the Dome against the Giants. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jim Deshaies was his battery mate. Bidge was 0 for 2, scored a run and stole a base in a 6-0 win.
He could scoop.
Certainly one reason the Astros wanted to get him out from behind the plate and move him to second base. He later played the outfield, of course, as you know. Banged off the leg of the hitter Cruz to keep him at 1-2.
Yeah, I thought his tools were excellent to take advantage of, maybe in center field or as the second baseman, and he did both. Just he could do it all.
There has not been another player like him, really, in Major League Baseball history. And yet, for some reason, the voters for the Hall of Fame did not see fit to put him in the first ballot.
They'll come to their senses.
I think they will. Cruz strikes out. That's strikeout number 4 for Eric Bedard.
Again, the big curveball, big bender, picking up the strikeout. Eric's become very consistent with that pitch.
The batting average against his curveball is only 200. Now here's Carpenter up for the third time. He bunted for a hit and scored on the Molina 2-run homer in the first. He grounded out in the third inning. And he takes strike one here. Carpenter has really given this club quite a bit. He has scored 58 runs this year, tied for second in the National League. Has 94 hits, 400 on base average. Bouncer first. Wallace with the play. 2 outs. George Springer and Delino DeShields were named to the U.S. team for the All-Star Futures game. Around the All-Star break, July 14th at Citi Field. Congratulations to those two guys. And there's a chance that 18-year-old shortstop Carlos Correa could make it as well. That goes down to a fan vote. Molina looks at ball one. Molina has a 2-run homer and a line out to second. Fans can vote between now and June 30th at MLB.com/futures. Futures-finalists. And on Astros.com. Keith Bodie was named to the U.S. team coaching staff. Corpus Christi manager. Broken bat looper into shallow right field. A hit for Molina. George Springer hit 2 homers in the All-Star game last night in Arkansas.
That's just showing off. Nice to make an All-Star team, but how about going off him? Just a special player. He can steal bags, hit with power. There's his second. I don't know if he even got that one, but slender fella can drive it.
Now he may be in Nashville tonight. That's where Oklahoma City is playing tonight. Carlos Beltran, the batter. Ball one. We joke about that in the major leagues when somebody goes 10 for 10 or something. He needs to be called up to a higher league. Well, Springer's performance certainly dictated that he be called up to a higher league. And did he ever leave the Texas League with a splash with those 2 home runs? It's a shot, and Dominguez stayed right there and picked it up with those soft hands on one hop and got the force out at second on Molina. 5-4. No runs a hit, a man left. It's 4-3 Astros in the 5th.
It's the Geico quote coming up. Mike Elias, director of amateur scouting, with this quote: building the minor league system is not a one-time process. We want a continual pipeline arriving, and doing that sustains a contender. We're almost there, and so is that young talent. And, boy, that young talent is coming along in a big way for the club.
And with the movement of those players up a level, several guys have done that. It's been a rather dizzying time to keep tabs on all these guys. Jose Altuve started the 4-run inning with a single to left center field in the 4th. That was the first hit off Lance Lynn. Altuve's 1 for 2. And it's strike 1. Average velocity for the fastball is 92 for Lynn. That last one went up at 91. He's lost some weight since last year. It's 0-2. Shelby Miller has moved into the rotation, and he's given the Cardinals another dynamic arm. More on the way. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I wonder how much the confidence of pitching to Yadier Molina has aided this staff.
Oh, quite a bit. Fly ball to center. Robinson there. Molina does an awful lot for those pitchers. George Springer and Delino DeShields both selected to participate in that Futures game July 14th at Citi Field. Carlos Correa might be there. Fan vote will be coming up, and you can log on to Astros.com for that. Cast your vote for Carlos Correa, and he might get that final spot on the world team.
Believe me, he can play with those guys. Played a little bit in spring training, and he was not intimidated. In fact, he might have been the intimidator at times. He played very well.
Strike to Jason Castro. He has a walk and a single tonight. Scored a run. In addition to Springer being the MVP of the Texas League All-Star game, David Martinez, Jake Buchanan, Mike Fultonevich each hurled a scoreless inning in the South's 6-0 win last night. 1 hopper to short. Cosmo. 2 outs. Those are some names you've been hearing, and Buchanan is accompanying Springer on the trip up to AAA Oklahoma City now.
Would love to see the stuff of Fultonevich in that All-Star game if for an inning he was able to bring it up triple digits again, because he's done it numerous times.
Yeah. Chris Carter, he has a strikeout and a walk, scored a run. By the way, Ross Seaton and Wade LeBlanc both cleared waivers. They both stayed in the Astros organization. That's a strike. Seaton was outrighted to Corpus Christi, and LeBlanc outrighted to Oklahoma City. It's 0-2 to Carter. Lynn made his debut in 2011. That's a fly ball left. Holiday over, leaping off the wall. It kicks back toward the infield. Cosmo goes out to retrieve it. It's a double for Carter. On the 0-2 pitch, he hit it over Holiday, and that's double number 12. And we have seen a huge uptick in the doubles jumping off the bat of Chris Carter the last few days, Ash.
He's been so much more willing to go the other way, but he gets another fastball here. Just fastball after fastball in that sequence. And this one finds the heart of the plate, though it's down around the knees. Great to see with Chris able to up that doubles column. That had been a huge surprise early on.
That's his 8th double in the last 12 games. And a good job by Cosmo to go out and pick up that baseball. A shortstop in this ballpark has to be ready to do that on balls that bounce back toward the infield by the left fielder. Pena has a bases loaded walk. He cranks a line drive, but it's foul. The shortstop who didn't do that a few homestands ago maybe, but that time Cosmo was alerted that he had to get out in there. There's a curve at the bottom of that scoreboard wall and left.
Look at this swing. That's just staying on that back leg and spinning.
That hit the curve down the right field line that time, and you saw the hard carom and the kick the ball can take off that surface.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought that was a very slick play from the shortstop for the Cards. And it looked to be anyway, the last moment anticipated. It wasn't, oh dear, here comes the baseball, I better go out there and get it. It was a nice reaction.
No balls, 2 strikes to Mr. Pena. 1-2. Carlos had some fun with the rookie Mark Krause last night after Mark got his first major league hit. That was a double in the 9th inning. Carlos defaced a baseball that was not the ball used for his hit, but this happens all the time with a rookie. He wrote Mark Krause, but he misspelled his name on the ball, and he misspelled the name of the pitcher he was facing, and presented that to him in his locker. He later gave him the authenticated baseball.
Did Krause buy into the mock job?
He said that he was wise to it.
Yeah, those rookies always are.
2-2. Well, wouldn't you think that after this legend has happened over a period of 20 to 30 years, word would get out?
Top secret down in the clubhouse. You got to sign waivers when you get in.
Yeah. Now it's 3-2 to Carlos Pena. Could be a very interesting pitch coming here in a one-run game. Pena did not get anything to swing at his last time up. He has 25 runs batted in. J.D. Martinez on deck. Carpenter's in shallow right field. Lynn steps off. Lynn's thrown 74 pitches, 44 for strikes. Cardinals came into this game tied for the fewest walks allowed in the National League. Lynn, though, came unraveled a bit, and he's walked 3. He had back-to-back bases on balls in that 4-run fourth. Julia?
Hey, Brownie. Tonight's Sportsnet Central is presented by TXU Energy, and we will follow Astros post-game live, so everybody stay tuned for that.
Yeah, a lot of news in the world today. And that's where you can get caught up on it. Sportsnet Central by TXU Energy, following Astros postgame live. With Marius Payton and Eric Young. That's another walk for Pena. And that's number 4 of the game for Lynn. Derek Lilliquist picks up that phone. 2 men on for J.D. Martinez. He got an RBI when he bounced into a force play. Brett Wallace is on deck. Astros are in a stretch of 14 of the next 17. Well, it started last night against teams over 500. The exception would be the Angels series over the weekend. So some stern competition is coming up against them. Kelly warming up again. 1-0 count. Their record this year when they play teams that are currently over 500 for the season is 6-33.
Yikes.
Foul back. So if they could get through this next stretch and improve that a whole lot, that might do a lot for them in the second half of the season.
Yeah, it's kind of show me where you're really at time. Now, yeah, you've got to be able to beat the clubs, the lower division clubs. But as you move on up, you've also got to develop that confidence that says we can beat anybody.
It's 2-1. We'll have the Angels over the weekend, but they're an improved version of an Angels club. The Astros has faced 10 times already this year and gone 7-3 against them. Then 4 with the Tampa Bay Rays starting Monday night to wrap up this homestand. Foul back. And then on the road trip, a trip to Texas, St. Louis, and Tampa Bay offers more stern competition. Nine pitches for Lance Lynn. That's toward the gap in right center field. Robinson on the run. Robinson makes the running catch. to end the Astros fifth with no runs a hit, 2 men stranded, and it's 4-3 Houston after 5. Their 4-run fourth inning when they batted around. Let's go back 25 years. The Anderson Cancer Center bringing you this moment in history and showing you Craig Biggio's debut June 26, 1988. After being drafted in the first round the year before from Seton Hall, he made his major league debut against the Giants, walking in the fourth, scoring the game's final run after stealing second in a 6-0 win for Jim DeShays. Now the first pitch here in the 6th inning to Alan Craig is ball 1.
It's a funny thing when you play with a guy who becomes a Hall of Fame type player. And Craig Biggio certainly is that. But when you first see him, you think, well, this guy's good. He's got some good tools. But you don't see Hall of Fame.
True.
I played with Dennis Eckersley when he first came to the big leagues. He was good. Very good. But never thought of anything like that. It's really fun retrospectively to look back at these guys.
Oh, you know it. Wonder what you missed and why you missed it. It's 3-0 to Alan Craig. Well, with Craig's great hitting with men in scoring position, 455. He is the leader, but he has plenty of company on this hard-hitting St. Louis list. They have 7 batting qualifiers who are hitting above 300 with men in scoring position, and 3 are hitting above 400. Craig, Carlos Beltran, Yadier Molina. That's a strike, and that makes it 3-1. Very good collection of talent. Cardinals went 5 for 9 last night with men in scoring position. In the air and foul for a 3-2 count. They're 0 for 1 tonight with men in scoring position. The last major league team, Ash, to finish a season with a batting average of 300 or better with runners in scoring position was the 2008 Minnesota Twins. They hit 305 with men in scoring position.
I'd like to see, I need to take a look, I guess, at the home run numbers for that club.
Yeah. Open line drive goes foul.
Again with the Cardinals, I mean, if they were a big home run hitting club, and they're not, though they've looked like it here in this series, they'd be running away from things. But the way they drive in runs so consistently, at least through almost a half of the season, it's been phenomenal.
They're pretty pumped,
I would imagine. You start to believe it, and you start in your comments with the media talking about how good we are, and here's the reason why we're so good, and then you'll run into a tough time at some point.
5 strikeouts for Eric Bedard.
What did those Twins do the next year in terms of hitting with runners in scoring position would be my next question.
Right. They probably reverted to the mean. Well, Bedard, even though he gave up 2 in the first, after the first 2 batters, he trailed 2-0. Another homer to Alan Craig in the 4th. Has the lead now. 1 out. And there's ball 1 to Holiday. Holiday 0 for 2. Paul Clemens is warming up. 82 pitches so far for Bedard. Number 83 is in for a strike to make it 1-1. Well, this outfield of Holiday in left, John Jay most of the time in center, not tonight. Carlos Beltran in right. They've started 51 games together. That's the most starts for a single outfield in the majors. It's 1-2. Cardinal outfielders have driven in 143 runs coming into this game, and another one tonight by Craig. That's the highest total for any major league group of 3 outfielders. Started his swing and then held back. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes to Holiday. The Astros starting pitching so vastly improved. 3.37 since May 15th, second only to Oakland in the American League in that span of time. Jordan Lyles, Dallas Keuchel, Lucas Harrell. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Lucas going with the hooded sweatshirt look tonight.
Got to find something that works.
Yeah. It's out to left center field. That's a flyer, and that is headed for the gap, and it's off the wall. Barnes going into the padding. Here's Holiday stopping at second base on a long double near the 404 sign in left center. That's his 12th 2-base hit of the year.
Time now for our pitch by pitch. Brought to you by Steel Dealers. Eric Bedard trying to go after one of the game's outstanding right-hand hitters for years now. The first pitch fastball sails up and in, finds the corner at the knees, and then another heater. Brings the breaking ball, a little half swing, almost got him. And then misses down and in. That fastball drilled out into left center field. He doesn't miss many when he gets a pitch up and through the heart of the plate.
Now with 1 out, he's in scoring position for David Freese, who struck out twice. Freese takes it for ball 1. Freese is a fine player. He's been derailed by some injuries in his career. He looks at that pitch for a strike. David turned 30 back in late April. He was born in Corpus Christi. Last year he drove in 79 runs. And on the DL during spring training with a lower back strain. Had some ankle surgery in 2010 on both ankles. There goes Holiday for third, and the throw not in time. Matt Holiday with a rare steal of third, his second of the year. Gets over there with 1 out.
So we talk about the Cardinals as being a team that doesn't hit a lot of home runs. They've been slugging here in the series. They don't run much, but Matt Holiday takes off and steals third.
Now that brings the infield in.
They are not going to be pigeonholed, apparently.
Cardinals had not stolen a base in the previous 19 games. Longest streak in the majors. In the dirt. 2-2 now, and that forces the Astros to come up with something here with the infield in to try to prevent Holiday from scoring from third base. Freese only had 4 runs batted in April and 49 at bats. That's 26 for the season. He's hitting .231 with men in scoring position. And Bedard steps back. That certainly is a trend breaker in the Cardinal ball club scheme of things, as well as their entire team has hit in these situations. Cardinals have gone 22-9 against the Astros dating back to the beginning of the 2011 season. Inside for a ball, and the count runs full. Shane Robinson on deck. Right-handed batters are hitting .237 against Eric Bedard's fastball this year. Will he use it here on 3-2? Nope, he goes with a breaking ball, and that's a great selection. It's strikeout number 6.
Despite leaving it up, he gets the strikeout, but that's all about crossing up a hitter, guessing for a particular pitch.
Well, right-handed batters are hitting even less against his curve than against his fastball. 195 against the curve. 2 outs, and now it's Shane Robinson. Robinson popped to second in the second, doubled to left in the fourth. Now the infielders drop back. That's strike 1. Dominguez is not back as deep as he would normally be with a right-handed power hitter. Robinson is not one of those. It's 1-1 for Bedard. 95 pitches for Eric, the Canadian-born lefty. Shooting for career win number 66. He has 67 losses. His ERA at home was 2.12 when this game started. Up the middle. Elmore to his left. Elmore, quick throw. And that's out number 3. It's no runs, a hit. A runner stranded at third. That could be very big in a 1-run game with the Astros up 4-3. Here's our Mazda game summary showing you a 4-run Houston 4th inning.
Starts out with the Cardinals jumping on top. Second hitter of the ballgame, 2-run home run, Yadier Molina. They got another long ball from Alan Craig. The Astros come back. The bases loaded walk. Kicks things in gear. Brett Wallace had a big base hit to drive in a run, as did Brandon Barnes, breaking his bat and shooting one up the middle. So that offense coming through in a bunch in the 4th inning for Houston.
Strike one to Brett Wallace, leading off the home 6th. He has the RBI single in the 4th. That was big in that 4-run frame. He's 1 for 2. We got the tying run home. Now a little tap brings Lynn over to barehanded and throw him out. 1 out for Lynn. Matt Dominguez will follow. Lynn, with that 29-9 career record, is really bearing down on something that hasn't been done in a while. The only active pitchers who reached 30 wins before they reached 10 losses were Roy Oswalt, who started 33-9, and Tim Hudson, who also started his career at 33-9.
A couple of smallish right-handers.
Good point. Matt Dominguez is 0 for 2.
Nobody drafts that smallish right-hander anymore, do they?
Yeah, maybe low though. Well, Oswalt was a loser today. Colorado losing at Boston 5-3. He's 0-2 with the Rockies. But he struck out 11 in 5 innings in his first start as a Rocky. Josh Fields and Wesley Wright warming up there. And he did not have good fielding support in that initial outing. He ran up against John Lackey. Lackey striking out 12 Rockies today, with the Red Sox winning at 5-3. No balls, 2 strikes, but Oswalt's stuff still looked pretty good on highlights of that first start.
Yeah, I think he had loaded up for that one. You hope that, I think we all root for Roy and hope he has success, that maybe he can continue to show that he's still got something at this stage of things.
He worked in relief last year for the Rangers and was not pleased with that assignment. Had some opportunities to sign with other clubs as a reliever, but he waited for that opportunity to start, and that came with the Colorado organization. He started at AA Tulsa, then got called up, and today he allowed 5 runs and 9 hits in 6 innings. Striking out 5 and walking 1. Michael Kadire of Colorado extended his hitting streak to 23 games with 2 solo homers. Kelly's been throwing in the bullpen. And that matched the Colorado club record set by Dante Bichette in 1995. Ground ball over the bag at third. Fair ball for David Freese. And that takes care of out number 2. Freese airing out the strong arm.
Nice job by Freese to slow that down after he gloves it. Watch at this point what he does. He doesn't try to throw on the move, just uses the footwork, plants, and makes a good strong throw. Dominguez doesn't run all that well, so I'm sure it was sized up early on there, but that's the way you want to make that play.
Brandon Barnes gave the Astros the lead with that single up the middle in the 4th. Right fielder Alan Craig made a sliding catch on his shallow fly ball in the 3rd. He fouls it for strike 1. Yeah, Brandon said when he's in a little bit of a slump, as he has been lately, he doesn't try to do a lot of extra hitting. He just finds that he can take solace in going home to his family after a ball game. Come back out, do the normal work the next day.
I had a lengthy conversation with George Brett in Kansas City, and it was quite revealing in a number of aspects. But when it came to all the extra work that hitters do today in the game, George was completely against it. He feels like hitters swing way too much, and I agree. I think guys wear themselves down, and a lot of times when you take a lot of extra swings, you're working on things that don't help you anyway.
1-2. So more work smart than work hard.
Yeah, and when you feel really good, don't stand there and air it out for 20 minutes while everybody else is swinging. Get a few swings, get loose, and get out. Maintain what you're feeling good about.
Off the plate, 2-2. Do you like that last swing in the cage to be kind of like the last swing on a driving range before you tee off, make it a good result before you leave?
I think that's ideal. But there are times, quite frankly, that you can stand there and take 15 more swings and not hit the ball the way you want to.
Fly ball out to center. Robinson over. Robinson makes it a 1-2-3 6th inning for Lynn. After 6, 4-3 Astros.
Friday through Sunday, Albert Pujols and the Los Angeles Angels come to town, followed by a series with Evan Longoria and the Tampa Bay Rays. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit Astros.com to get your tickets now. Jake Elmore out at shortstop today, making his first start since being recalled yesterday, and he said he was really excited, but so was his good buddy Mark Krause, who's already with the club. These two go way back. They were actually together with the Arizona Diamondbacks there. And then in Oklahoma City, they were roommates on and off the road as well. So rooting for each other and very happy to be with the big league club together, guys.
It's an interesting story, too. Yeah, they can share in this together, promoted, and both having this good opportunity. We go to the 7th inning and get into the Astros bullpen with right-hander Josh Fields taking over. He, in 7 2/3 innings, has allowed 8 hits, walking 1, fanning 6 with a 4.70 ERA, facing Pete Kozma, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. And that's a strike on the foul ball. Eric Bedard pitched well tonight. 6 innings of 7 hit, 3-run baseball, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Gave up 2 homers, a 2-run shot to Molina, and fell behind 2-0 after facing 2 batters. Then Alan Craig homered in the 4th to make it 3-0 Redbirds, but the Astros roared back with 4 in their half of the 4th inning, and Bedard has a chance to be a winner now. The curveball's top foul. No balls, 2 strikes for Pete Kozma. Josh Fields worked last night, 1 inning, giving up 2 hits and 2 runs. He came in the 8th and allowed a 2-run homer to Alan Craig after a single by Tony Cruz.
It's not easy to get raked around early. You go out there with a positive mindset, and a couple of hitters in, it is just not working the way you had planned. But to turn it around may be even more difficult, but that's what Bedard did tonight.
That's a very good point, Ash. He did not panic, did not lose his composure. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fields came in as a pinch runner in the win over Milwaukee June 20th.
Dangerous.
Breaking ball, tapped to third base, foul for Matt Dominguez.
Yeah, I would say in my playing days, the number of times that I saw pitchers be asked to go out and be a base runner, more often than not, it didn't work out all that well. Sometimes quite comical.
Well, It wasn't in a pinch running situation, but an interleague play here years ago. Chen-Min Wong was starting for the Yankees.
Yep.
You remember that game?
I remember that was kind of the moment of the downfall of Chen-Min Wong. He had been one of the game's great pitchers.
He was on second. He attempted to score on a routine single to the outfield, turned his ankle coming around third or between third and home, and he was out for a long time with that injury. Shot over by the camera there. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Those decisions by managers come in moments of desperation as you're trying to figure out a way to make things work. But, well, those pitchers just don't get enough work on the base paths. And it's funny, you throw them out there and something unusual will come about.
Josh Fields in with a 1-run lead here in the 7th inning. Fields a Rule 5 pick. He was at Double-A Portland most of the year and Triple-A Pawtucket for 10 games last year. In the dirt, and he checked a swing on it. It's 2-2 to Cosma.
See, I would have liked to have seen an appeal on that one. The bat got out there certainly over the plate.
In that Pittsburgh 4-2 win at Seattle, as you'll see the check swing.
Well, he held it back. Good job.
King Felix Hernandez struck out 11 today. But lost. Well, he didn't lose. Jordy Mercer hit a go-ahead single with 2 outs in the 9th inning. That's some zip on that heater, and a strikeout for Fields.
With Iwakuma up there in Seattle, that's a terrific 1-2 combination they've got in their rotation. That's a good fastball. Josh Fields puts himself in a position where he's got a very good over-the-top heater.
Good 2-pitch combination, fastball and curve. Tony Cruz has whiffed twice. So the Buccos remain on track to do something they haven't done in a long time, go to postseason play. They're 48-30, and they've not been 18 games above 500 since the '92 season, the end of that year. Popped up on the infield, and Brett Wallace is there at first. 2 down. Now Matt Carpenter is looking at Bo Porter. He may want a lefty. He's already signaled to his bullpen. He had Wesley Wright warming up. And Josh Fields gets the first 2 outs here. Wright is throwing now, and he is leaving the bullpen area to come in and face Carpenter, who's 1 for 3. 4-3 Astros. Back in a moment.
Inning. Create memories, save money, and have fun with Astros baseball. Whether you're treating your employees, hosting clients, or bringing out your church or youth group, We'll create an experience your group is sure to remember. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit Astros.com to enjoy special pricing and great benefits by reserving your group or suite today.
Here's the matchup. Wesley Wright facing Matt Carpenter. Carpenter's 1 for 4 against Wright. Wright is 0-2 with a 4.61 ERA, having allowed 35 hits in 27 1/3 innings.
And he's had his struggles against left-hand hitters. And I wonder about this move by Bo Porter, if this is designed more to enable Wesley Wright to continue to face some left-hand hitters, maybe gain some confidence, and get this thing turned around.
Left-handed hitters are hitting .315 against him, 17 for 54 with 1 homer.
It's the on-base percentage that's way up there toward 400.
That's strike 1 to Carpenter. Carpenter led off this game with a bunt single off the lefty Eric Bedard. And he grounded out twice. Wesley Wright pitching twice in the Chicago series, gave up 2 runs in 1 inning in his second appearance there after a scoreless 1/3 of an inning in the first one. Tapped it foul for an 0-ball 2-strike count, 0-2 to Matt Carpenter. 273 against lefties, and he's really fired it up since May 7th, 328 against southpaws. Astros lead. They've been out hit 7-5 by the Redbirds. No errors tonight. 4 men left by the Cardinals, 5 by Houston. Just off the plate, and it's 1-2. Yadier Molina's on deck. Astros have a right-hander warming up in case Molina comes up. Hector Ambrose. It's Kevin Segrist from the left side throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. Carpenter reaches and he strikes out. So the bullpen with Fields getting 2 outs and Wright getting the 3rd, get through a 1-2-3 7th and maintain the Astros 4-3 advantage. American League West rivals and nemesis Albert Pujols come to town this weekend for a 3-game series. We begin coverage Friday at 6:30 with Astros pregame live.
And now let's take a look at tomorrow's pitching matchup, brought to you by Chevron. Care for your car. And those fellas would be Bud Norris for the Astros, 5-7, despite the 3.60 very nice ERA. And against the Angels, he's torn them up. 3-0 on the year, 0.43. The ERA, that almost doesn't exist. Jerome Williams goes to the hill for the Halos. 5-3, 3.36 there, Ernie. And he's a veteran right-hander.
Ball 1 to Jake Elmore, leading it off here in the home 7th inning. Bud Norris watching this game and preparing mentally for Friday night, probably. Elmore's 0 for 3. Lance Lynn gets him to hit in the air to right field. Backing on it, Alan Craig. That's one down in the bottom of the 7th inning as Lynn stretches it out. He's at 95 pitches. Jose Altuve will be next. Altuve single to start that 4-run 4th. He's 1 for 3. The Astros have right-hander Jose Cisnero warming up. Cardinals will have Molina, Beltran, and Craig due up in the 8th. That is looking to be a very important part of this ball game. At strike one, with David Freese just about a step behind the bag at third. In case Altuve should think about laying one down. He hits one to short. Hosmer, 2 outs. Castro will be next. He's walked, singled, and grounded out. Oakland shut out the Reds today in Oakland 5-0. A 2-hitter by A.J. Griffin. Griffin went to 6-6. He beat Homer Bailey, who's 4-6. Josh Donaldson hit his 12th home run. Bruce Carter's on deck as Castro steps up. Blue Jays are in flight again, Ash. They shut out the Rays 3-0.
Can't hold him down, Brownie.
2-hitter by R.A. Dickey. Fly ball, shallow left. Cosmo looks out to Holiday. And it's a 5-pitch 7th inning for Lance Lynn. He's still under 100 pitches. We go to the 8th inning, and the Astros lead a tight one, 4-3.
Saturday, June 29th, the Astros take on Albert Pujols, Mike Trout, and the LA Angels of Anaheim. That's at 3:10 p.m. Be sure to get to Minute Maid Park early, as 10,000 fans will receive a white home replica jersey. That's courtesy of Champion Energy Services. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS to get your tickets right now.
It's a big day. Replica jerseys, book signing, book donations for the Castro's Kids book drive. A lot going on Saturday. Now Jose Cisnero has come out of the Astros bullpen. He'll be pitcher number 4 in 15 games. He's 2-0. He has a 2.20 ERA. He has Doug Brocail and Bo Porter, and a lot of people very excited, Ash.
I would think so. I just see Jose Cisnero, assuming he stays in the bullpen, and there is talk that floats around that he still wants to be a starter or that sort of thing, but he's got a chance of really doing quite well in the back end of this bullpen. He has that type of an arm. You'd love to see those numbers with the batting averages against shaved down even further. I think he has the kind of arm that can succeed very well.
This is the acid test for him. A 1-run lead, the 8th inning. Molina, Beltran, and Craig due up. Three outstanding major league hitters. Molina cranked a 2-run homer in the first. He singled in the fifth after lining out to second in the third. And that's ball one. Wesley Wright struck out the only man he faced, Carpenter. Josh Fields got the two-man he faced with a strikeout. Bedard went the first 6, giving up 3 runs. Upstairs and then knocks down Molina. Now it's 2-0, and Castro going out to try to settle down Cisnero.
Well, it's clear cut that was not intentional, but at the same time you don't want to dust up a guy like Molina who's been just red hot with the bat. Or do you? You want to make him feel uncomfy at the plate. Sometimes those guys that are swinging it so well have a way of just turning on the switch when they want to.
Well, that's a good point. He might be one of those. That's a strike. Well, that's a great pitch to come back with after decking a guy.
Yeah, if you can put that pitch right after the previous one, you've got something.
It's 3-1 now. Yadier Molina. Jose Cisnero, 24 years old, from the Dominican Republic. Former starting pitcher. That's what he was last year. 20 starts at Corpus Christi, 8 more at Oklahoma City. And he gets a foul tip.
And that backlash on the swing gets some Jason Castro. The home plate umpire, Tim McClellan, is trying to get the Astros to maybe come on out and take a look at Castro. Jason is playing the part of the tough guy very well, and he says, no, I'm good. Maybe throw an extra toss here.
Where did that bat hit him? Did you see?
Couldn't see it. All I knew is right away Castro was showing signs of a guy who had been beat up.
It's a shot on the ground. Good play on the backhand side by Wallace. And a big out as Molina's retired from 3-1.
And now the pitch by pitch brought to you once again by your steel dealers. And boy, that was an intriguing at bat, and nice job in the end run there by Cisnero, getting over to the bat quickly. Wallace with a fine job as well. With that pitch by pitch, fastball misses away, and then comes the heat up and in. He's able to spot a pitch well and then throw one right on by and get the ground ball. Not an easy play though, and again kind of focus also on Brett Wallace. That's a nice play defensively at first.
Sure is. Carlos Beltran's the batter. He's 1 for 3. It's a great location. Added strike one at 94 at the knees on Beltran.
What do you think, Brownie? If Brett Wallace swings a nice steady bat here for the club, might we see him on a semi-steady basis at first base?
Well, we would just be guessing, but why not? We guess all the time.
Well, one way or another, I think what we could probably presume is we'll see his bat in the lineup.
I think you're right. Cisnero got the win in Chicago over the weekend with 2 shutout innings. Really had to tap dance around some problems. He came in with the game tied 3-3 in the 7th. That was scoreless 8th, and then he got Darwin Barney with the bases loaded. He fell behind him 3-1. The Astros told him to pitch from the windup, and he got out of it. 3 balls and a strike.
Right here from the windup, the last 2 fastballs at 96, and that's really what we're talking about. And if he's going to be that 8th inning kind of setup guy, at least at this stage of things, that would be great if he could dial up to that level as he comes in for the 8th.
That's a 1-out walk. Julia?
Hey there, Brownie. We're wanting to remind the viewers to stay tuned for Astros Post-Game Live presented by MD Anderson. Hoping the Astros hold on right here.
Marius and EY are ready to go with that show. Right after this double play ball by Jose Cisnero on Alan Craig.
Well, you got this whole thing worked out.
It's all scripted, Ash.
I'd heard that as a story, but I've never seen it verified.
He did bounce into a double play in the first, so it might be presumptuous to think that that could happen twice in one night. He homered in the fourth. That's a quality strike one.
Dials it back to 95 to make the good pitch.
Doug Brocail, when we did the interview in Chicago for the pregame show over the weekend, was well aware it had been a while since Cisnero gave up a run. He gave up a couple of unearned runs here against Kansas City. No balls, 2 strikes, so we'll not count those. In his 10 outings since May 11th, Jose Cisnero is 1-0 with a 0.42 ERA. 1 earned run in his last 21 and 2/3 innings.
That's great stuff. Now you're talking about a guy trying to figure out exactly where he pitches late in the ball game, but late in the ball game is where I believe he belongs.
He joined the Astros after starting the year at Oklahoma City. Came up April 22nd. Right there for strike 3. It takes Mr. Tim McClellan a while to notify everybody, but that was a good-looking pitch all the way.
How many times did you ask yourself on the way up from McClellan, is he going to call this a strike or not?
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like the pitch was one of those bottom-of-the-knee jobs. Are we going to get the call? Are we going to get it? Yes, we are.
He's one of those umpires who verbally calls it before he signals.
Yeah, so the guys at home plate will get the word, I think, most of the time. I've asked that question, and I've got varying reports on that one.
Okay. Matt Holliday doubled in the 6th, then he stole 3rd, and he was stranded at 3rd. So tonight, the Cardinals, for all their prowess with men in scoring position, .339 as a team this season, do not have a hit with a man in scoring position. They stranded him at 3rd after he stole the base. Freese struck out and Robinson grounded out. And there's strike 1, but Holliday has been known to turn games around with a swing like that.
Yeah, he's a strong fella, and he likes hitting that fastball, but this is a special edition of the heater.
Holliday hit 27 long balls last year. He's hit 240 in his career. Foul back. 0-2 here in the 8th inning.
Castro's going to go out to the mound. I think this is just providing a little bit of time for the home plate umpire, Tim McClellan. Jason knows that McClellan got this one, and because McClellan provided a little time and opportunity to throw the ball for Jason, I think he just simply reciprocated.
And about his fair play.
And sometimes very wise.
Upstairs, and it's 1-2. R.A. Dickey went the distance in that 2-hitter. Toronto's 3-0 win at Tampa Bay. Jose Reyes returned from a 2-month layoff. He went 0 for 4.
Kawasaki got sent out. A guy that had been playing the part of the hero a few times of late. Good times are not rolling anymore.
Oh. Upstairs, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, that AL East is a complete scramble.
It's a beast over there.
Toronto now goes a game above 500 again with the win. And everybody in the AL East is above 500. They were all within 6.5 games of each other when play started today. Now it's ball 3. And with 2 outs, the runner automatically takes off. Carlos Beltran.
This has been one heater after another. Does he come with one more here, trying to find the strike zone?
Throws a high percentage of that pitch. Freeze on deck. And Holiday backs away.
That timing on picking up the sign sometimes will force a hitter to step back because he thinks he's figured it out, and then the timing changes and he thinks, well, maybe I missed on my anticipation.
Runner goes, and it's a strikeout for Cisnero, who works the scoreless 8th. No runs, no hits, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. And it'll be Carter Pena Martinez due up. Cisnero keeps the Astros in the lead 4-3. Talked about, having enjoyed down through the years, there have been so many one-run ball games. What's going to decide it now? The Astros would like to get a little insurance here in the bottom of the 8th, Ash.
What's the deal, Brownie? We keep running into folks from Missouri here, a lot from St. Louis, and just out having a good time. Yeah. Some in high places.
Jim Crane brought a couple of his St. Louis friends in. Chris Carter, the batter, fouled it back. There is strike 1. Carter has a walk and a double in 3 trips tonight. Lynn staying in here after having a 1-2-3 6th and another 7th inning in order. He's retired 7 in a row. Off the end of the bat, it goes to Cosma, and that's 1 out. So he's doing a really good job of keeping that Cardinal bullpen fresh for their next series at Oakland. And they'll have Freese, Robinson, and Cosma due up in the 9th. With Jose Veras warming up for that trio.
Sometimes the best way to keep a starting pitcher on a roll is keep him in a ball game. Let him go deep. Let him stay in that same kind of ritual that he wants to be in all season long.
Carlos Pena has flied to center. He's walked twice. One of those a bases loaded walk. That's strike 1 to Pena. Cardinals have not won a game this year when they've trailed after 8 innings. Only trailing by 1 as of now.
That's surprising.
Yeah. It's a 1-1 count. You go back to that Killer Bees era and all the great players the Cardinals had at that time. There's Carpenter, Jim Edmonds, go on and on and on with the star power on both those clubs. They were on a 4-3 games, 3-2. Just well played baseball down through the decades between these two clubs.
A lot of Albert Pujols going on.
A lot of that. Swing and a miss, and this one gets by the catcher, and Cruz can't pick it up, so Pena reaches on the strikeout.
A lot of times when the pitch is in the dirt, they'll call it a wild pitch. For me, this is a pass ball. This just slips right on by. Can't really get a good look at it on that backhand side down around the dirt level.
The ruling's wild pitch from what we're hearing.
That's the way it seems to go a lot of times. I think that if you got Tony Cruz to talk in front of his pitching staff and manager, he'd say, look, that was my fault. I should have made that play.
J.D. Martinez is 0 for 3 as an RBI. In tight ball one. The Cardinals have just 15 wild pitches this year and only one pass ball. And in looking over numbers and defensive metrics don't entirely tell the whole story. We need to go into range factors and things like that, but they just don't make a lot of mistakes.
No, they don't. They make the routine play, and if you want to be good, make the routine play, and then a little beyond that, obviously. You realize that strikeout of Carlos Pena, the first strikeout of an Astros hitter since the 3 strikeout first inning?
That is really strange. Little roller back to Lynn. He throws high, but Molina makes the play at first. With some deft footwork there for a catcher who has not started at first base since 08. Out number 2.
Mike Matheny says that's a moment where it looks like it's going to be the end of the night for Lance Lynn. Wouldn't that have been something for a guy of the quality of Molina to get hurt on a play like that while playing first base?
Terrible. Absolutely. That'll be it for Lynn. He goes 7 2/3. And he really helped Mike Matheny's bullpen for the next game by staying in this one after giving up 4 runs in the 4th inning and then pitching 3 2/3 more after that. As he leaves, it's still 4-3 Astros, and we'll rejoin you in a moment. Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. 4-3 ball game, and there's a pitching change here with the lefty Kevin Segrist, a rookie, coming in for Mike Matheny after Lance Lynn took it the first 7 2/3. He had 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's surrendered 5 hits and 4 runs so far, throwing 106 pitches. And Segrist comes in to face Brett Wallace. Wallace is 1 for 3, an RBI single to tie the game in the 4th. Segrist, a promising left-hander with an ERA of 0 for 8 2/3. Ash.
And one of the eye-popping numbers that really jumped at me for Brett Wallace while at AAA was how well he hit left-hand pitching. And now we get a chance to see how he handles that.
Matt Dominguez on deck. Rick Horton is one of the Cardinal broadcasters. He's over on radio for this series. He loves what he has seen of Kevin Segrist. This is only his 9th major league appearance, but with those 11 strikeouts and 8 2/3 innings, batting average against him 0.71. Why wouldn't he love Kevin Segrist?
Oh, those lefties stick together.
Segrist, though, was a 41st round draft choice in 07. That is surprising. Listed at 6'5". He's 23 years old. Last year he was a starting pitcher for Class A Palm Beach and AA Springfield from Buffalo, New York. Wallace fouls it with a good rip for Brett. 1-2 now. Mark Zepchinski simply was not getting the job done by the Cardinals. They moved on. Looks like a good decision the way Segrist has performed this year. They also have lefty specialist Randy Choate. Segrist, though, is one of those who can face right-handed batters effectively. And he gets a punch out on Wallace to end the Astros' 8th. They leave a man on, and it's Jose Veras time with a 4-3 lead coming up to the 9th. And the closer Jose Veras has come out of the bullpen. He'll be pitcher number 5 for Bo Porter in this one. The Astros trailed 3-0. They got 4 in the 4th. Now they've made defensive moves. Jake Elmore has moved from shortstop to left field, replacing Chris Carter, who leaves the game, going 1 for 3 with a walk. Ronnie Cedeno moves in to play shortstop.
Well, Jose Veras takes over, and closers put together some pretty nice numbers. If you're looking at what hitters have done against him, that 198 batting average on the overall, very nice. The right-hand hitters have had a miserable time. That slider coming into play as well. 175 the mark, 226 for the lefties. It's all about closing it out right now.
Nice job by Cisnero with a walk to 2 strikeouts in his 1 hitless scoreless inning. The bullpen has been solid tonight. Fields 2/3 of an inning, Wright 1/3 of an inning. After Eric Bedard went 6, allowing 3 runs. Cardinals got 2 in the 1st on a homer by Molina. Craig chimed in with their 2nd long ball of the night in the 4th to lead 3-0. The Astros got 4 in the 4th. It has stayed 4-3 ever since. Now it's Freese with 3 punch-outs tonight. And it's John Jay in the on-deck circle. The pinch hit for center fielder Shane Robinson. Pete Kozma's due up third. And Matt Adams' left-handed bat is also on the bench, as well as Daniel Descalzo. Out to center field. Barnes tracking it. One pitch, one out for Veras.
Ball hit sharply, but an out is an out. And one big thing that's kind of plagued Veras at times this year is that inability to throw a strike to the first man he faces.
Veras got his most recent save in Chicago, the 4-3 win over the weekend with a hitless inning. Now the pinch hitter is Jay. Robinson was 1 for 3, a double. Jay at 243 with 4 homers has 33 runs batted in. Last night he was 0 for 4. Got an RBI and a bases loaded walk last night. Matt Adams on deck. Mike Matheny pulling out his left-handed pinch hitting firepower here in the 9th. Veras is 6 for 6 in his June save opportunities with a 1.80 ERA this month. That's a roller into right field. Wallace was guarding the line, and Jay went out and rolled it between him and Altuve. A one-out pinch single for Jay. Jay has 2 steals and 3 tries.
Veras comes with a heater out over the plate. A lot of times when you pull that pitch, you're just going to roll it to somebody on the right side, but big gap between first baseman and second baseman.
Adams, who started last night, is the pinch hitter for Kozma now. Kozma 0 for 2 with a walk. Adams at 311 with 4 home runs, has 16 runs batted in. Adams last night went 1 for 4 with a walk. It scored twice. Adams is 7 for 21 pinch hitting, 1 homer, 4 runs batted in. Descalzo's on deck. And it's ball 1. Tony Cruz is due up next. So 3 pinch hitters could be batting in a row here if the inning continues after Adams for Mike Matheny. And he would have Ty Wigginton remaining on his bench. Now it's 2 balls, no strikes for Veras. Adams is 24 years old, 23rd round pick of the Redbirds in 09 from Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania, by way of Slippery Rock University. He spent some time on the DL with a strained oblique. There goes over to first. Adams has grounded into 6 double plays in 90 at-bats. Foul tip. 2 balls, 1 strike. Justin Maxwell suffered a slight concussion last night, so that necessitated the move of Elmore from shortstop to left field. To Adams.
2-1 changeup. Adams, a lot of times you can anticipate a hitter getting overly aggressive in that count, looking for the fastball and moving early, but Adams did none of that.
Takes ball 4 now. Runners at first and second, 1 out.
Pretty good looking pitch. Deemed under the knees.
Now another pinch hitter, and we get a pinch runner as well at first base. Daniel Descalzo is the pinch hitter for Cruz, and there's the pinch runner at first. Joe Kelly, a pitcher who was warming up in the bullpen earlier. Now wanting to use the remaining bench player, Ty Wigginton, in a pinch running role. Mike Matheny goes with the pitcher. Representing the potential go-ahead run. Descalzo at 275 with 3 homers. Is the pinch hitter here. Cruz was 0 for 3. That one handcuffed Castro, but was able to keep it close enough so there's no advance by Jay. And the pinch runner.
Watching Castro go out and talk things over, it appears this could have been another of many cross-ups between pitcher and catcher this year. I have never seen so many, and that's exactly what it was. I asked Jason Castro about a week ago, what's going on with all the cross-ups, and basically he had no answer. And pitchers tend to get into their own sets of signs. Just a lot of misses.
That could have been disastrous. Runners move along to second and third with 1 out on a play like that. Then a single ties or gives the Cardinals the lead, rather. It's 2-0 now. Descalzo, who hit his first career grand slam May 21st. Then select a pitch in his zone.
Cardinal left-hand hitters here in the inning doing a great job laying off the changeup.
Descalzo as a pinch hitter is 2 for 9 with 2 runs batted in. He's had 131 at bats. He takes there, and that's a strike. 2-1 for Veras. Matheny's Redbirds with a 48-29 record, fighting for this one. Descalzo fouls it. Now 2-2.
There's that confidence Veras has in the breaking ball. 2-1, a couple of runners aboard. You can't walk him in, but he just loops that pitch right through the heart of the plate. You'd have to call it a hanger, but it's more about deception in terms of what pitch is coming.
Descalzo played a lot last year. He had 227 and 374 at bats. He's hitting 342 in the month of June after a 368 average in May. At a breaking ball, and that's a strikeout for out number 2. A big breaker from Veras.
Now Jose comes right back to a pitch he likes to turn to. You can really see that with his hand he gets under that pitch a bit. That's not desirable, but because he throws so hard, hitters have a hard time looking breaking ball.
That's strikeout number 10 for Astros pitching tonight. Astros struck out 14 Redbirds last night, and St. Louis won at 13-5. Now Carpenter 1 for 4. Out into right center field, and that will do it. J.D. Martinez over, and the Astros win this one 4-3. An outstanding ball game. Veras closing it out with save number 16. Eric Bedard having to watch this bit of tension here in the final few innings, especially the ninth, to earn win number 3 of the year. And there's the Astros final. They bounce back after losing last night 13-5, and after losing on Sunday 14-6 to take a 1-run decision. Final score: Astros 4, St. Louis Cardinals 3. So it's a split of the 2-game series. Cole Porter's club winning for the 30th time this year and beating a team with the best winning percentage in baseball, Ash.
It's good to win any time, but when you can beat the Cardinals, I think it's special for what the Astros are doing right now. And you really have to go back and hand it to Eric Bedard, able to survive after that ugly first couple of hitters on the ball game, trailing early. The Astros bats come to life, get a job done, but you need Bedard and company to shut down the Cardinals, and they did that perfectly.
A Cardinal team that came into this game hitting .339 with runners in scoring position went 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. So a happy story from that Houston bench. They get ready for the off day tomorrow, and we go to Julia with Brett Wallace.
Thank you very much, Brownie. With Brett Wallace, who had a big RBI single to tie things up in the fourth. A big fourth inning for you guys. How were y'all able to get to a good pitcher like Lance Lynn right there?
I mean, I think everybody just kind of bought into doing the little things and not trying to, not one guy going up there trying to hit home runs and, string together a couple good at-bats in a row, and you put the pressure on him. And, Carlos's at-bat right there was huge. I mean, I think that really set the tone after the guys got on. The bases loaded, it's hard to work a walk like that. So, everybody just kind of pulled together and did what they needed to do.
3 RBI for you in the past 2 games. You've only been up 2 games. How have you been able to handle the pressure of just being up and everyone's eyes on you?
I think honestly you don't look at the pressure. You rely on your teammates, and they've been great. Whether I was here earlier or when I was down, and then now that I'm back, I mean they've been great rallying around me, and really just they kind of take your mind off it and they pick you up. And like I said, if we all buy into doing the little things, you don't worry about trying to do anything too big yourself, and that takes all the pressure off.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Brownie, back up to you.
Thanks, Julia. Very enjoyable game tonight. The Astros win it by 1. They're now 12-12 in one-run games. Final score 4-3. Houston. Back in a moment.